So you want to build a ship for specifically taking out Thargoid scouts. That's what this ship is. It is a Alliance Challenger with some modifications and some not so modifications. You'll actually see as we go along that it's not as heavily modified as the crate, and as a matter of fact, all of the parts on this can be taken off of the crate and put right onto here pretty much. There's a couple things such as the thrusters, which you could use the same thrusters if you wanted to. There's really not much difference. The only real difference is the drag drives, instead of having it be thermal vent, or thermal spread, sorry, which you don't really need that for this because you're not going to be heating up. The first thing for hardpoints is a enhanced AX missile rack used specifically for, you can target scouts if you want to with it. The best way to use it is to take a pot shot at a interceptor to just get the money for the kill. Would not recommend taking on an interceptor with it. You will not win. Next up is a 2E, so medium, enhanced AX multi-cannon, and you're going to have 3 of these, all 3 turreted. And then you're going to have 3 turreted beam lasers in the small section. These are engineered with efficient weapon, and if you wanted to, you could put thermal vent on them. You don't really need it though. Possibly you could throw on long range weapon instead of efficient weapon and get a little more reach out of it. And then you could add a extra modification if you wanted to. You don't really need to though. These are basically made not for damage per second, but more for just using them. They're good for damage, but they're not great because they're smalls, and they're more there so that way if you get off target, they can stay on target whether you're on the top or bottom of it. Because these are all up top, or these are all on bottom, sorry, and then these are all up top. So that way, no matter which way you fly around a scout, you can at least have something hitting it, making some sort of damage, which is important when they regen health. Next up in our utility mounts, we have not 1, not 2, but 3 heatsink launchers. I'd recommend having all 3 be pre-engineered so that way you get the 5 count of actual heatsinks to launch. Having the 3 really is a detriment. So if you wanted to, you could take, well, you don't really have to take any. Now that I think about it, you can go to Mbuni and buy these, I believe, without any Guardian module stuff. It may require some materials. I will have to check on that, and if it does, I will list them on the side. But other than that, you're going to have a field neutralizer for when the inevitable abominations of interceptors show up. Remember, this is specifically for scout killing. We are not targeting interceptors. It is never a fun time. You will lose. Next up, we have our military grade composite, which is just a 1A, no modifications, no engineering, nothing crazy. Our power plant, which is a 6A, and I believe I have overcharged just because at the time when I was using this for pirate hunting, I needed to have overcharged, or else I actually wouldn't be able to kill a lot of the stuff that I was shooting at. Then we have 6A thrusters with 30 drive and drag drives, which is helpful for quick turning. This ship is agile. It's very agile. It's very quick. As a matter of fact, you can probably see the name of my ship somewhere. Actually, no, you can't. So that's a good thing. Next up is the 5A frameshift drive, which again, we're just doing increased FSD range. And then this also has a mass manager on it. I actually don't know where that came from, to be honest with you. It may have come from my Python build that I did, which was going to be used for specific runs, which are tedious and boring and make you lose your mind. And I decided not to do that and instead just decided to go for, instead of money, Federation rank, which is how I ended up getting my Federal Corvette. 5E life support. This does lose its canopy quite often. If I could recommend one thing, it would actually be to upgrade this, which I am going to do, or I'm not going to do because I can't. So, that's interesting. All they sell is 8s here. Next up is your power distributor, which does not need any engineering. The multi-cannons and beam lasers don't drag enough power to actually need it. So keeping it stock at a 6A will run you just fine. 4E sensors, you can upgrade those if you'd like to have a higher range of sensing things. Could be useful. Not really though. With Thargoid scouts, you're always in close proximity to them. You're not really running a way to get further from them. You're just mainly attacking. They will launch caustic missiles at you, and I will actually show you how long you can fight with a caustic damage buff done to you soon, very soon, actually in this video. So next up is the fuel tank. Just leave that stock. Now we'll look at our optional internal, which, as you can see, there's some things here that are stolen right from our crate. I have removed stuff from my crate specifically for this build to give it a higher rating. I will actually show you in a second how high our current armor is. So, as you can see here, our current armor rating and integrity is 65 and 3,972. Excuse me. It takes a lot to get this thing to go down or to need repairs. The main problem that you'll have is the canopy getting breached, and that is not very often with the scouts because of our heat sinks. We're actually going to use those in a way that you would against an interceptor, say if you were doing cold orbits. Because all Thargoids are Thargoids and they all do the same stuff. So if you use a heat sink against a Thargoid that is pummeling you, it'll miss a lot more, which is good for you. And you can even kind of cold orbit the little scouts if you wanted to and get some practice in, and you'll actually probably be better at real cold orbiting on interceptors because of it. Now, these are all stolen. Anything that's engineered here is all stolen right off of the crate, so it's all using heavy duty with deep plating, grade 5. You can see we have a shield cell bank. Honestly, I don't know why I have that. You could probably replace that with a hull reinforcement package if you wanted to. And you could get up to 4,302 integrity, which is really, honestly, amazing. That's really good. Or if you wanted to, you could take a Guardian module reinforcement package and slap it here if you had the need. That actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea now that I'm thinking about it. This is honestly probably one of the better ideas that you can have. So slapping a module reinforcement on there would be helpful, but as you'll see in the footage coming up of me fighting, I never lose any modules. So we'll go ahead and look at our one thing. We do have one 2D Guardian module reinforcement package. Again, you could slap one in place of the shield cell bank. I honestly didn't even notice the shield cell bank when I was doing this, or else I probably would have replaced it with a whole reinforcement package and had even more integrity, which it was enough doing it. And then I just have a standard docking computer, Super Cruise Assist, and Advanced Planetary Approach suite. This is because I was doing federal runs and it was very, very boring and tedious, and I was going in from station to station, so I just got it so that way I wouldn't have to land my ship myself. I was lazy. We'll put it that way. I was lazy. This could even be replaced if you wanted to with another hull module or hull reinforcement package, which would bring you up to about 4,500 in total if you did both of them like that. That's exceptional. That is amazing. And if you didn't like Super Cruise Assist, again, Hull or Guardian Module Reinforcement Package, probably pretty good there. That's it for this build. This build so far has been one of the greatest that I have had for simple killing. You don't go in to fight anything other than the scouts, and you're backing up your teammates. That's the whole idea of this ship. You don't have shields, so you're completely shieldless the whole time, and you're just kind of running around, and if an interceptor decides to look at you real well, give him the finger, pop a heat sink, and fly off. That's really all you need to do. He'll forget about you pretty quickly, because as long as you're working with teammates, he'll turn to them, which is good for you. As you can see here, I've been gaining money recently. I was actually at 1.5 billion today, and then I bought some stuff for this build specifically. I had to go to a different system to be able to get my military grade composite. But other than that, this ship is pretty amazing, and you'll see that very, very soon with this upcoming footage of me fighting. So hope you enjoyed. This time around, I won't bore you with any crazy footage, just some shots of me killing scouts, along with the idea that I've been flying for about 15 minutes now, and my health hasn't gone down much, and I've encountered a lot of small scouts and a lot of damage caused by caustic. So this ship does really well as what it's built for. I wouldn't recommend taking on interceptors as stated, but it will get the job done, as you can see, and it does it happily. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you next time.